Hi, I'm Rachel Spikowski, and I'm the Program Director here at FACT. FACT is a nonprofit agency that provides educational advocacy, information training, and support to parents and family members who have children with disabilities and/or a mental health diagnosis. FACT uses family-driven, strength-based, culturally competent philosophy to support family voice and improve outcomes for individuals. And this is Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen Cooper, and I'm the training specialist at FACT, and I do training for our employees as well as our community members.
Today, we're going to talk about using Charting the Life course tools for respite services. The title of our program is Using Charting the Life course tools for respite. What is respite and why is it important? Respite provides supervision and care for individuals with disabilities so their caretakers can get a break. We know what kind of struggles our families go through with them being the 24-hour person that provides care to their child. It can be very overwhelming at times when caring for an individual and not your own needs. In most cases, the caretaker does not need any time for themselves or take any time for themselves, which is where respite comes in. Respite can be set up for a few hours, a day, or a few days, or several days. It really depends on what the need is and how much funding is approved for that service. Typically, respite will be built into the individual's person-centered plan. In 2017, Missouri stopped providing service coordination for families who did not have Medicaid. With this drop of service, it seemed like a natural fit for FACT stepped in and helped the families get respite services and to be that connection for families to get those services. The Senate Bill 40 board in our area, which is DDRB, wanted to develop a system to provide respite to families who did not have service coordination. DDRB, FACT, and Community Living is an agency that administers the respite funding in St. Charles County, collaborated together to create a process using the life course tools to access respite services, essentially replacing the individual's person-centered plan that would no longer exist. Determining respite care needs and eligibility. How do we figure out what the family and individuals need for respite care? We had to brainstorm and come up with a system. We turned to the Charting the Life course tools to provide this information. Karen will now show you how we use Charting the Life course tools to help determine eligibility and needs.
Thanks, Rachel. So we started using the Charting the Life course tools to outline what we needed for respite care, and we started with the support star. We went through the 5 points of the integrated services and support star. It's completed with information pertaining to both the individual and caregiver and focuses on those things that could pertain to respite. So we have information about technology and for breaks from caregiving and how the individual uses technology for leisure and independence. We continue that theme for each point. So under personal strengths and assets, the caregiver enjoys working out and the person is a great artist. Then we go to relationships. For relationships, the caregiver has a few friends that provide support for her, and the individual has friends and cousins that she likes to hang out with. And then we have our community-based and eligibility-specific supports that the family accesses, such as church and horse therapy. We then use the portfolio to provide the details of why respite is necessary for this family and individual. We look at what's going on in the family's life and the individual's life and how taking respite breaks would help both the individual and the family. So in this instance, the parent has no time to take care of other life responsibilities such as grocery shopping or going to the doctor. The individual doesn't have opportunities to be without their parents. And probably most importantly, we need to know what needs to be in place in order to make those short breaks happen. What does the family need and the individual need so that they can actually use respite and it be successful? In this instance, the parent needs to know that the individual is safe, and the respite provider has experience and can effectively communicate with the individual. The individual needs someone who can engage with him. So we use the trajectory in order to make sure respite is successful. We look at what has worked and what hasn't worked in the past. This can help us plan to make sure the respite fits the family's and individual's needs. Here we see the break needs to be at least 4 hours long, and we need to make sure that the support person is someone who is active. We can also identify any barriers this family is having in order to access respite. So things like finding someone who has experience providing respite for a person with autism, or having the support person meet the individual prior to the respite being provided are examples of what issues may need to be addressed in the process of providing that respite care. Lastly, we want to get the families and individuals' vision of what good respite looks like for them and identify those things that we want to make sure don't happen when respite is provided. We are then able to take all of that information that we have gathered with the family and use that to complete the respite tool that determines whether or not a family qualifies for respite and at what level. This is the respite eligibility tool that we use in St. Charles County, and it lists the individual support needs that most families are able to identify when they have an individual with a disability. The higher the score, the higher amount of respite the family qualifies for. But it does not individualize those supports to the specific family or individual and what it looks like for them. We include all of the Charting the Life course tools along with this scoring guide so that we can make sure respite is provided that meets the family's needs and is successful. Thank you for spending some time to hear how we use Charting the Life course tools to provide respite care for individuals and families.